And it's only 2 enrollers, correct?
Correct, right now, and I'm monitoring the scheduler frequently to make sure that that's going to be enough, and so far so good.
Okay, great, because yeah, that is all the access I have provided thus far. Now, if we find a situation where we need to open access to another individual, that's definitely something that we can do. You just need to reach out and let me know, because at one time, I don't know if it was last year, but we had like 6 or 7. So we have those profiles already built out. So it's just a matter of activating them and giving them access to all the clients. So like I said, if we get started next week and you find that you need another enroller, just let me know and we'll get them out there for you. And once the call is over, I'm actually going to send you information. Login information for. I've just tested everything. Everything is working great. So basically what will happen is you go to try to log in. It's going to say, hey, I want this code. Then you'll have to log into the Yahoo email. You'll get the code. It's like a 6-digit code. You enter it in, and then you're good to go.
Okay. I can do that.
Yep. And if you just want to pass over the presenter to me, I can do the training for you.
That's perfect. Let me do that.
Hey, Patty.
Hi, Bo.
This is Bo. Hey, and just to let you know, once we go through the system and kind of do that demo, we're going to talk about the benefits with Deanna so she can record it also for Eric. Obviously, no changes, so Eric's not going to be caught off guard. But if you want, you can stick along with us to go through the benefits, or if you want to drop off after you do the system demo, you're more than welcome to get 30 minutes of your time back or whatever it is. We just don't want to hold you hostage.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate that because I do have to pick up my son from school by 4:10. So depending on how long we run, I may have to go, but being that we're starting at 2:30, I think we'll be okay. Okay, so I have got control. You guys can see my screen okay? And like I said, I'm going to provide you with all of this information so that you'll be able to sign in. Oh, stop that. Helps if I use the right password. Okay, so once you log in, this is the home screen. This is basically what you're going to see. Now, where you're going to be able to go and really focus your time is in this Manage Employees area. Now, you can get there to it by 2 separate ways. You can actually just click right here on the home page, or you can come under Employees and then Manage Employees. Either way, it's going to take you to the same screen. This is the screen that you're looking at here, which is providing you a listing of all of our employees, active employees, in alphabetical order. So right here at the top left, you have a search bar. So what you can do is just go ahead and search for someone in here. Like, for example, I'll just use myself. Now, it's going to bring up a drop-down list. When you first enter the person's name, you don't want to hit Tab or Enter. You just simply want to type it in, and then it's going to bring you up this list of all of the employees that have that last name or first name you can use as well. And then you can tell here who's terminated. The terminated all has a red dot, and active has a green dot. So if for some reason somebody calls and they're showing up as terminated, then obviously we have a problem, but you shouldn't receive any of those. But nonetheless, you're just find the person that you're looking for, and then click right on their name, and it's going to take you to their profile. And so now when you come into the profile, it's generally going to come to like your main employee page. Okay, so you're going to see like basic information like what you're seeing on the screen. Where you want to go, Deanne, is under company on the left-hand side, and then benefit elections. And if I'm going too fast, just let me know. Now, once you come to benefit elections, you're actually going to see a bunch of data here in the middle of the screen. You can completely disregard that. That is just showing you what is the employee has currently, okay? But where we're going to be focusing our attention is right here at the top of the page where it says enrollment is in progress, and you can choose and submit your benefit elections. And you can see that that's a live link. So when you click on that link, it takes you right into the enrollment itself. And so you can see here that you have all of the steps on the left-hand side, and I'm going to take you through each step. So first page, it's just going to basically say, hey, welcome to the enrollment. The next step is personal information, and this is just basically providing the information for the individual. It says their address, things of that nature. This is not edible, however. So if you have someone that has an address change or something like that, you're going to want to refer them back to their business office coordinator. They are the people that can make the change when it comes to the personal information, okay? But then you can either use the left-hand side steps, or you can just simply go to the next button here on the bottom right. Either way, it's going to take you to the next step. So now we've come to our dependents page, and you can see that I currently don't have any dependents. Ahead of time to try to make sure that they have them, but we have found it's the case. If they can provide it to you, obviously that's what we want. But if for some reason they're like, oh, I'm going to have to go home, the only thing that we would ask you to do is put in a dummy social, whether that's all 8s or all 9s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever works best for you. But then if you could just like shoot us an email, you know, whether it's on the fly or at the end of the day, and say, hey, we need to follow up and get these people's socials, that would be great. We can also run a report at the end of the enrollment to obtain that data too. So if something gets missed, it's okay. Don't worry. We can always follow up afterwards. But nonetheless, I'm just going to put in a dummy social here. And then you want to put in the birthday. Now you see how, oh, I just made it 2018. You see how I'm having to use the dashes or the slashes, if you will, in between the birthday. If you try to enter it without it, it's going to holler at you. So you want to make sure to use the dashes in the birthday. Okay? And so then none of these other fields are required. So you really only want to focus on those required fields. And then once you have that information there, you're basically just going to save and close it at the bottom right. And then you actually have the ability to go and add more dependents as well. This looked like it just kicked me right out. Sorry about that. So if it does kick you out, you can always go right back into the benefits like I just did.
Right.
So see here now, you can see that we've added my dependent. And if for some reason you go in there and maybe somebody wants to remove, you can certainly do so just by clicking this remove box, and that'll wipe out the dependent. Okay, does that make sense there?
It does, yes.
Okay, perfect. Now the next step, Deanne, is beneficiaries, and it's the exact same way as setting up the dependent. So you can see that I already have some listed here, and they are editable. So you can go in here and update this information, and you can also add as well. Okay. Now you can't remove necessarily the beneficiaries, but what you can do is come in and overwrite this information if they wanted to change it. Okay?
Okay.
So the next step is now getting into the nitty-gritty for the actual benefits. The first thing that you're going to come to is your medical page. And we have as PPO, it's employee box. Make sense?
Got it. Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to, oh, and also I wanted to bring to your attention over here on the right, we do have some information on the plan. So you've got your SBCs here, you have your RX. We also put out a virtual visit brochure. Not that that's going to be asked, but it may. And we do have individual benefit summaries for each of them as well. So if for some reason there's additional questions or maybe they might want to get this, they can certainly log into Paycor and obtain that information once enrollment is over as well.
Okay.
So now we're just going to skip to the next step, which is dental. And you're going to
Hey,
find...
Patty.
Yes.
Hey, sorry to cut you off real quick. I just want to make if you would pop back to the medical page.
Sure.
I might have missed this, and if I did, just please forgive me. I've got crazy renewal brain. But if you, Deanna, if you see next to each of the titles for the plans, it shows corporate CRP.
Yes.
So, if you want to identify the employee as, whatever class they are, you'll be able to see it there. And like we had said prior, that the only thing changes is the amount of the deduction for that medical plan.
That's correct. That's correct. And the way that the system works, Bo, and that's a great topic, thank you for bringing that up. The way that the system works is we have everybody selected with what's called a benefit classification. And that benefit classification is what drives what products are being offered to the employee. So because I'm a corporate employee, that's why you're seeing corporate at the end of all these plans. If you were speaking to somebody that was in the management field, then these would say management. And then if we just had like a line staff, an hourly line staff, it would say staff. But the system is smart enough, thank goodness, to know based on that benefit classification what they should be offered. So those should all be correct for you as you're making those elections.
And is this the only place in the system that I can identify that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I can also send you a list if that would be helpful. I have a full-time eligible list, and I can send you who's management and who's not.
That's okay, as long as
Really, honestly, Deanne, I don't think that you're going to need it, only because the system knows, based on that benefit classification,
right,
what to offer.
Okay, that's good.
But I'd be glad to send that to you if you think it would be helpful.
I think I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. All right, so we're going to go to the next one, which is dental. And again, like I said, it's going to look very similar to your medical page. It's going to come in already selected with what the employee currently has. And I kind of skipped over it on the medical, Deanne, but option A is always to decline. So that declination is there. If somebody chooses to decline coverage, it's always option A. But nonetheless, you can see here we have the high dental and then you have the low. So it's just making that election as to what they would like. And if they have dependents, it would show up here on the bottom of the page, and you would just simply click that dependent.
Okay.
And now the next one we're going to is vision. Again, the page is going to look very similar. So you just have your decline option, and then you have your vision option. And again, set up the same with the dependents. And now we're going into voluntary life. Now this is one area option B. And then you're also going to see option C is just regular voluntary life. Now, what's going to be tricky for you guys is that if somebody already comes in the grandfathered plan, that's where we want to leave them. If they don't come in the grandfathered plan, then we have to choose option C.
Okay, and that radio button, so in this case, you're in grandfathered because that radio button is checked, so I know you're in grandfathered. Okay.
Exactly. So if there's somebody in that grandfathered plan, one of these radio buttons is going to be checked. If it's not, then you know you're going to go with option C.
What if you want to, the grandfathered people want to increase?
Then you would stay in the grandfathered plan.
Stay in the grandfathered. Okay.
You got it. Yep, you got it. And that's the only wonky thing that's coming with this enrollment. And I really wanted to make sure to stress that because we've had an issue with our provider in making sure that these folks are retaining that. And had already completed an EOI, they basically recognized as approved. So they said, okay, we'll take these folks on the plan. We'll recognize, the amount that they've chosen, but anybody after that is not going to be grandfathered in. And so that's when you would know to come to option C.
Okay.
And Patty, this is Scott. So about increases now. So I'm grandfathered. I have 100,000. I want to get 200,000.
And you're going to stay in that grandfathered plan.
Right.
Yeah, if they're already grandfathered in.
200. Right. I'll select 200,000, and then is that guarantee issue or no? That increase.
The increase would require the EOI.
Okay.
And that's
and if
something
if I don't have any current coverage, I'm not grandfathered. Go to the bottom section.
Any step up?
Any step up would require the EOI.
Okay.
And again, you can select those choices, and then it's up to our business office coordinator to follow up with those employees to get the EOI. So there's going to be a lot of things done once the enrollment is over to ensure that we're gathering those EOIs from the employee. So that's nothing that you guys need to be concerned with, but it is information that you could certainly let the employee know that, hey, if you're new coming on the plan, your guarantee issue is 50,000, but they select 100. Okay, well, that's fine. We can select that, but you need to follow up with your BOC to have the EOI completed.
Right.
And is that a paper form or an online thing or either? Okay.
And like I said, if they are in the grandfathered status, they're already going to come in with one of those radio buttons checked. And this is the only one that the grandfathered status came in on. For spouse and child, it doesn't matter. It's only voluntary life for the employee that this was affected on. Okay. Are we good to move forward?
We are.
Okay. All right, so our next step is going to be the voluntary spouse. Now, the only caveat with the spouse is that it can only be up to 50% of what the elected. So if employee elects 50,000, then spouse can go no more than 25,000. Okay? If employee picks 100, spouse can only be up to 50. It can be less than 50, but it can't be over half of what the employee elected.
Will the system allow me to do that?
The system allows you for every 5 increment, if you will, whereas the voluntary life employee is based on 10,000 increments. The spouse is based on every 5. So, like, for example, if the employee picks 30, then you actually have the ability for the spouse to be 15 or less.
But will the system let me pick 20? And so I need to be very close.
You're going to have, you're going to have to be on the ball with it, because the system will allow you to choose anything. It's not going to flag you, unfortunately.
Okay.
I would love for it too, but it doesn't. And we really rely on the BOCs educating the employees on that. And we have had a couple stragglers come through this year that have tried to do like 100 and 100 for both, and we've had to, advise them that we can't do that and make changes. But it's very possible that those questions would be asked of you, yes. And unfortunately, it won't work for you.
No problem. I got that.
Yep. And then the voluntary life for the child is no greater than 10,000. So you have the ability to choose up to 10,000 on every 1,000 increments.
Okay.
Now, when you do have voluntary life coverage, if you have the dependents listed, it would ask for you to check which one was being covered. So, for example, if I had my child here, Nicole, then I would just have to check that box. And then also you can see down here as beneficiaries. So you have your beneficiaries listed, and you can also check those as to who should.
Okay, got it.
Patty, this is Michelle.
Hi.
How are you going to handle the incremental increase this year if someone had below the GI and wanted to go up 1 increment?
I don't understand your question. If it's under GI, then there would be nothing done. If it's over GI, then we're going to have to request the EOI.
They can go up 1 increment. So if I had 30, I could go to
It's not going to manage that.
Okay, we're going to have to get a report and manage that after the fact. And as well as,
So I can help manage that. So you're saying I'm an employee. I have 30,000 currently. So therefore, I'm going to be in that grant.
With no EOI.
if they're a new hire.
If it's a new hire. Correct.
Okay. That was, okay, we wouldn't say new hire. Okay, so there really is no GI for existing employees, except for one step up. They can get one step up.
One step up for the
50,000.
employee, correct, and one step up to the GI for the spouse. So really, that's only one opportunity. If they have 5, they can go to 10 for the spouse.
Okay, that's a little different. All right, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And so, do I know if they're a new hire? I mean, is there anywhere that would give me the inclination that they are a new hire?
No.
I can try to stay on top of that.
The call's over. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. So right now to the basic
Yep.
life. Now, keep in mind, when we're dealing with the corporate people, there's the next 3 steps that are company provided. So there really is no change that you have to make to these other than making sure that the option A is selected because it is a company provided elected. So for basic life, your corporate's always going to come in at $25,000, and then your short-term disability and long-term disability are also going to be already marked. Now, your staff and your management people will not have these options. They will actually have a separate voluntary short-term disability option, which I can go and show you once we're done here, just so that you can see the page difference. But for a corporate individual, you will see the basic life, the short-term disability, and the long-term disability, and they should already come in pre-marked.
Okay, so just next through that.
Exactly. Basically, once you are complete, you now come down all the way to the summary screen, and this basically is an overview. So this basically provides you everything that you've just done. You can see my personal info, you can see some of my employment information, my dependents if I have any, my beneficiaries are listed, and then when we get down to the meat of the enrollment, what you're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen, Deanne, is what the people have currently for 2019. And then what you've elected with them is on the right side of the screen. So you can basically say, okay, employee Patty, we have, we've elected PTO, it's employee only. We see you have dental high employee only, and so on and so forth. So you're basically just summarizing with everyone at this point. And once you have completed everything and you verified everything looks good, you can provide them with their total per paycheck amount, which is kind of cool if I could highlight it there. And then basically you're just going to hit this blue Save and Submit button, and then you're done. And that's it. And then basically,
okay, will they get it? Do they get a confirmation?
They do not.
Okay.
But what we can do, and what we've advised the BOCs to do, is once enrollment is closed, then we have everyone go in there and we run off the confirmations and it goes to the employee that way. So again, that's not anything that you need to do. It's done after the fact.
Okay. And just so I know, do the employees have access to this system on a regular basis?
Yes, they do, as long as they're registered. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so now to get back, let's say you've completed with someone, we're going to save and submit it. Let me just go ahead and do that. So you'll see what happens here. It just takes a few minutes to load. and then it takes me right back to my profile screen. So now I can actually go up into my search bar and search for the next person.
Okay.
So let me find somebody for you that's a staff individual so that you can see what the voluntary short-term disability looks like as well. So here's somebody, this individual is actually in the management position. And you can see here, Deanne, all on the left, all of these options are the same, but you can see here there's no basic life, there's no STD or LTD. But when you come to the very bottom, right before the summary, you have what's called choice STD. And that's the short-term disability that's offered to the staff. And so when you come in here, you can see you have option A, which is decline, and then you have the voluntary short-term disability choice. So they can choose an amount for them, and then that's basically, you would just choose that, and then you can go on to summarize and finish.
Okay. Is the system limiting my choices to where it'll know that they're looking at their salary, so it knows that this person only can get $1,500? That's their max.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay. Okay, good.
Thankfully,
Okay, so they can get any of those choices.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that works. And
that's really the only difference between the two. And then, like I said, if you ever, like if you get stuck, or if maybe you spoke to somebody and they're going to get back to you, you can always save and close the enrollment and go back into it later the exact same way that we went into it before. So you would basically be on their profile, you go to company, benefit elections, and then you can see it right here.
what's my deduction frequency?
Bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Patty, can we go back into Larry's profile, into the benefits, and click on that choice STD again? Why do the bottom 6 have the same benefit plan pays amount?
It could be based on his age.
So with the I'm just trying to see, because the $1,000 or the 1,000 level,
it could very well be his max. We just basically carried over the plan from 2019, Bo, so we know that the setup is correct per Guardian's rules, if you will, for the carrier connection. So, I mean, without going in and looking at his salary and his age, I'm assuming that that has something to do with it, and so he can't really go more than 1,000.
Okay, so Deanna, just make sure that you and Eric are aware to look at that right column.
Thank you for pointing that out.
That cheapest one is, to make sure that's the top number for them. Yep.
Perfect.
And then, Patty, this is Scott. You went into a person here that had not enrolled at all. Are all employees going to be reset so that we have to step through each product during this enrollment? Okay.
Yes. And the only reason I did that, Scott, is because we had already looked at a full enrollment. I just wanted to come into a non-corporate person so that you could see the difference between the short-term disability and then the corporate policies that we offer the corporate employees. But you still have the option to go through each and every one of those steps, absolutely.
But if somebody wants to just change the medical, for example, do they have to stay on the line with us while we go through everything? Or can we just do the medical and finish the enrollment?
Oh, you can just do the medical and finish the enrollment. I mean, if somebody calls and says, hey, I want to keep everything the same, the only thing I would ask is that you verify that this is what they have and they want to keep that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely understand where you're coming from. We want to try to get people in and out as quickly as possible. And if they want to keep everything the same, I would ask that you just verify that that information is what they want. So I guess I contradicted myself there. Yeah,
well,
just to verify.
So like you said, I just want to keep everything the same. At this point, we're on the screen you're on. Can I go to the summary and that would list out what they currently? Okay, and that would be my best bet. Okay.
Yes, you certainly can, and that's a great thought. Yeah, you could just go right down to the summary because it's going to show you when we scroll down to the bottom here, it's going to show you everything that they currently have on the left-hand side of the screen. So you can see how everything is rolling over, right? So you can actually come and say, oh, okay, I see you have voluntary life for yourself, your spouse, you've got the accident, the hospital, and the cancer, and the short-term disability. So you can verify that information. They say, yes, that's all I want. You're saving and submitting, and you're done.
Okay.
Great question. You guys have any other questions for me?
I don't.
No. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
just look forward to your email, Patty, with the login, and I'll go ahead and take care of all that today and be ready for Monday morning.
Okay, that sounds great. You'll have that information by 3:30 this afternoon.
Sounds great.
Before we jump off, hi guys, it's Corey. Patty, that was awesome. I'm glad I was a fly on the wall to hear all of that. What you guys do is very complex, and I couldn't do it. I'll tell you that. Let me just throw out there, nothing has changed from a plan design standpoint, but I want this to be an opportunity. Are there any questions, Deanna, Scott, from your side? I mean, I know you guys are very comfortable with the HSA. I know Eric enrolled this last year, so I know he's comfortable, but it's obviously a heavy HSA focus with 3 of them being HSA compatible, 1 being a copay plan. Questions or concerns with explaining those or any of the ancillary benefits?
No, I don't have any.
Corey.
We reviewed all this information prior to the training here from last year, and knowing that there weren't plan changes, we're good here.
And we did
So
we did a recording already. Deanna, just so you know, I'm sorry, but we did a recording of both the staff and the management. Again, benefits are the same. So Michelle has her style, she did staff. I have my style and did management. Listen to one or both if that would help you. But they're both probably 45 or 50 minutes in length, and I'm sure Bo can send you that link, and you're welcome to go out there.
Okay, yeah, please send me that. And then, so for the HSA, I don't see and create their own HSA account, bring that banking account information into their contact there, and that's the process.
Absolutely, and it's not only their
Okay.
bank, but we can also let them know that they can go to Optum as well, which is partnered with United, and they can do an HSA account through them as well. But it doesn't have to be Optum. They can choose any bank that they'd like. We have that option there too.
I don't see Optum on my list of contacts. Is that something that you want me to provide to them if they were looking for that information? Or maybe I do have it. Let me see.
I mean, you can.
Is that in the benefit guide?
I don't think it is in the guide. But and like I said, they can go to any bank they choose that offers HSA accounts. I just wanted to make sure to mention that because it is one that United likes to use.
Okay. And your business thought basically just don't give them any specifics other than you can, go to your bank, a bank, or Optum, and for more information, go see your HR contact.
You got it.
Okay, got it. And as far as, just so I know, because I know how people ask, we're going to go with the limits, right? The 7,100 for the family, 3,550 for the individual. Allow. I mean, that's with their bank anyway, or Optum.
That's right.
So you guys don't really care.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And of course, I'm going to give you my contact information in the email as well, and you can certainly share that with Eric, Deanne, and I will provide my cell phone number. So if for any reason, something goes down next week and you can't reach me on my desk phone, I always have my cell phone with me, so I will make sure that you have that number as well so you can get me there.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
You know, sometimes you might have to answer a question on the fly and maybe not find your notes or what have you. I mean, you can even text me, and that's totally fine. So, you know, if you've got an employee on the phone and you need an answer real quick, definitely feel free to reach out. I'm here for you guys. We're so thankful to partner with you guys and get through our enrollment. So if there's anything that I can do to help facilitate anything that you might run into next week, I'm here for you.
Okay, I appreciate that, Patty. Thank you. Now, if it's a benefit-related question that's just getting into more detail, then I know I've got the plan summaries on the enrollment screens themselves, so that's good in case the benefit guide is a little too high level. But if it does have a question, Michelle, do you want me to reach out to you if shoot you an email or something about a question?
Primarily Sandy Harrington in the guide, because I'm, like right now, driving in a car.
Okay, got it. Sandy. Okay, got it.
Yeah, we guide everybody to Sandy. We call her the personal health advocate. So, you know, if there's questions, Sandy's chained to her desk this time of year.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you. And I do have Sandy's information.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any other questions, I think I'll go ahead and hop off, Bo, so you guys can do your review of the plans, if that's okay. I want to make sure that I get Deanne all of the information that I have promised. So I will be sending all of the login information for not only Paycor, in addition to all of the 2 Yahoo email addresses that will coordinate with the Paycor logins, and then I'm also going to send the full-time eligible list that you will have the ability to sort and manipulate and do whatever you would like to do with it, so that way it helps to facilitate you doing the enrollment.
Okay, and just so my mind doesn't have to work too much, a new hire at this point is someone hired on or after what date? It'd be November 1st, right?
Right, correct. Anybody
Okay.
November 1st and before is going to be eligible. And in fact, that's what I have on the list. I removed anybody that was hired after that date to specifically have a list that was just the eligible employees. So you don't even have to worry about that, because anybody hired after that date is not on that list.
That's great. Love it. And really, I think we're okay with the plans. I'll be honest with you, Corey and Bo. I think I'm good with the medical plans, the dental. If I have any questions, I'm going to go over that this weekend. And, you know, I'll certainly shoot an email unless you feel like we want to go step by step through them.
I think you're good. We'll get you that recorded webinar, and you'll be good to go. Patty, I know you've got to run, so go get your little one, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Corey, and thank you everyone for being on the call.
Thank you, Patty.
Something really quick. No problem. Thank you. I really want to let you guys know something really quick before I jump off. I am keeping our test environment open until Sunday at 6 p.m. So not that you would want to spend your weekend playing with Paycor, but you will have that ability. So if you would like to become more familiarized with it, I'm leaving that open for you, Deanne, so that you and Eric can kind of go in there and play with it if you'd like. Just know that Sunday at 6 o'clock, I'm going to go in, close the test environment, and reopen the actual live enrollment so that Monday morning we're up and running and you're good to go.
Thank you.
That's great.
But I wanted to have the test environment there so you could kind of go in there and play with it and fiddle around and, you know, just get familiar with it.
That's great. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I'll go ahead and jump off the call. But thank you guys so much. I'm so excited for another season. I'm glad for it to be upon us and looking forward to next Friday when we can close everything out. But thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your partnership, and anything at all, please don't hesitate to give me a call.
Thank you, Patty.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, bye, guys.
Hey, Deanna and Scott.
Yes.
The only thing I want to mention about the Guardian products is that we did get another year of GI for short-term disability, that choice STD. So there's no medical questions there. And then obviously the other 3 products with Guardian are perpetual GI, so no questions there either.
Thank you for that. You know what? That did pop in my head, and then I got distracted. So thank you.
Yeah, it's not very often you get
good.
3 years of true open enrollment for an STD product, but somehow, some way, I finagled it.
Good. Thank you.
So if you guys are good on the benefits, we can go ahead and adjourn. But if you do have questions, if you're running over, something over the weekend or between now and the time you leave today, shoot me a note. I'm up to date on what's going on with the benefits here. I can answer most of the questions. If not, I've got a great team behind me. So keep me in the loop.
You got it. I appreciate it. Thanks, Bo.
Sounds good, Bo.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.